Hi everybody, this is Daniel. Just wanted to do a little review on my Epiphone 2020 um, Les Paul Special. So, just a real quick disclaimer: um, I'm basically a hobbyist. I'm not in a band. I'm not a professional. I'm not a session musician. Um, I'm not a professional YouTuber. If you've ever seen my videos, that will be self-evident. Um, This was not sponsored in any way, shape, or form by Epiphone, by Sweetwater Music, or anybody else. So these opinions are mine and mine alone, as just a casual hobbyist, someone who likes to collect and play guitars, who's kind of a casual hobbyist. I know what I like, and I'm just giving my perspective for people who might be like me, people who might be anyone between a starter or to someone who's just again like me, just a casual hobbyist, collector, guitar player, someone who plays gigs every day, every weekend. So there's no affiliate links. There's no nothing here. This guitar I bought with my own money, financed through financed it or agreed to do the 3-pay system with Sweetwater. So and away we go. So again, this is the Epiphone Les Paul Special. So for 2020, Epiphone announced they were going to copy what they started doing with what Gibson started doing, which was the original line, which would be their reissues, their vintage reissues, and then their modern line, which would be again Les Pauls and SGs that had like metallic-y colors, more modern colors, and the push poles and all that kind of stuff, out of phase and whatever. Whereas, so this would be kind of part of Epiphone's, they're inspired by Gibson line, but this would be more in the original line, I guess, if you would. This is more like their reissues. And what this is clearly it's a reissue of a 1955-56 Les Paul Special. Just go over the features: 2 Epiphone P90 Pros, a wrap tail bridge, 2 volumes, 2 tones, 3-way switch, neck and bridge, and bridge. Same black pickguard. Their newly revamped kind of vintage-esque, Gibson-esque headstock with their tuners that have the little white buttons, just kind of like the ones they had on the original 50s models. I bought this from Sweetwater, so shout out goes to my sales reps, Nitish, and his, I guess, business associate, Andy Sternman. So I want to thank them for helping me get this guitar. Anytime I've bought a guitar through Sweetwater or anything, a guitar pedal or amp or strings or whatever, they've always been very good about getting back to me. Though if your instruments are backordered, like this one, I had to wait a couple months for it because of the COVID crisis. These are made in China, so a lot of stuff coming out of China, being guitars or whatever else, it's going to get backloaded. And you're going to have to wait a little bit. So, both Andy and Nitish did a good job keeping me in the loop. They've done it before when I pre-ordered, in fact, I think when I pre-ordered the Ibanez Tube Screamer pedal from them, they did the same thing. They'd provide me ETAs and stuff every 3 to 4 weeks as they learned more about the backlog. So anyway, it's a very good guitar. It's about $400. Maybe a little bit more with tax and everything. But what I'll say is this is very much a lot of guitar for $400. This is a guitar I would be as comfortable giving my son, giving anybody, giving a friend, whoever, giving them this guitar for their first guitar, as it would be comfortable giving it to someone who's just a gigging musician who has several other different guitars, maybe as a more experienced guitar player. I would still feel comfortable giving this to him. So another thing about Sweetwater is they have their 55-point inspection. So then, they'll double check the neck, they'll check the frets, they'll check the electronics, make sure everything's working, and then they'll send you off your guitar. And I still have it. They'll have their little 55-point inspection check sheet. It's signed and dated, everything. And so when I got this guitar out of the box, it was ready to go. All I had to do was do a little bit of tuning for a couple minutes, kind of let the strings stretch out, and just tune it a little bit, and it was ready to go. So basically, if I had had a gig that night, this thing I would be able to take out of the box, tune it, 5-10 minutes later, go on stage and play with this thing, and that's just amazing. The color itself is just beautiful. It reminds me, I've seen some vintage, I've seen some of the Gibson, some of the custom shop versions of these guitars, like on the walls of Guitar Center and stuff, and it's really a nice color, the TV yellow. So yeah, I just want to let you know, while Gibson has this in cherry, and then there's some other cheaper models that have in black, white, and other colors, this one, as of now, is only in TV yellow. It's just like the vintage. It's just like the vintage guitar. It's just like the 55, 56 model. So it plays very nice. I like everything about it, but a warning. So I have small hands, and so this guitar plays great if you have small hands. So it plays great because I think it's got a shorter scale for rhythm and chording like this. Now, if you're like me, you're more of a lead player, it might take a little bit of the neck might take a little bit of getting used to. So here, it's a little bit flat or wide on the back, and then the neck, the fretboard, is a little flat. So for me, it just takes me a little bit longer to get used to, like, writing my scales on it, and kind of doing overbends and things like that. But again, that's just something that you're going to have to work with if you have smaller hands. Now, if you have bigger hands, if you're more used to wider, flatter necks, then great. And by the way, I do have Gibson Les Pauls. I have an Epiphone Les Paul Jr. I have a Gibson SG. So I'm quite used to Gibson necks, and I'm quite aware that they're not like Fender thin necks or anything like that. But I'm just letting you know that the only thing that caught me off guard was that it was a little flat, a little wider and flatter than usual. But again, that's nothing bad about the guitar. That's probably the only minus for me. But again, that's something that, as long as you practice with it, work with it, as I'm doing, you'll get used to it, and it's not a problem. So my overall thing is, if somebody were to ask me, is this a guitar worth getting? Absolutely. Again, if you're someone like me who's been playing for a while, or if you're just someone who wants their first guitar, this is absolutely worth it. The quality, the features you get in it, it's just, everything is just good. It's just primo. It's a good guitar for $400. Again, $400. Doesn't seem like you can get a lot of good guitar for $400. Usually you'll get a guitar for $400, and then you immediately have to start upgrading stuff like pickups and pots and whatever, and this thing just plays good. It just plays good. I could not suggest it more highly enough. So again, thank you, Sweetwater, Nitish, and Andy. Also want to give out a shout out to both Gibson and Epiphone, and also JC Curley, who's apparently leading this company into good territory. I'm very happy. So I have a Gibson Les Paul from the new from the 2019 line, and then now I have this Epiphone Les Paul from the new Epiphone line, and so far so good. I'm very impressed. Please keep up the good work, and I hope to be able to add some more Gibson and Epiphone guitars fairly soon. So that's my review, guys. feel free to please leave likes, or feel free to ask any questions down in the comments, and I'll try to answer them as I see them. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. All right. Thank you.